Hey, what is up you guys? In today's video, we are going to be talking about why Mattel should reissue all of the old Hammond collection figures. So let's just get right into it. So the first section is obviously, of this video is obviously going to be why they should re-release the old Hammond collection figures. Well, it's pretty obvious because not a lot of people were able to get the old Hammond collection figures, or they just didn't like the way they looked. So if they reissued them, then everybody would get a second chance to get them, and it would be very awesome if Mattel did that. So if Mattel you're watching, please reissue the old figures. Now the next section is updated sculpts. What they need to do when they reissue these old Hammond collection figures is they need to give them better sculpts, because like I said, maybe not a lot of people like the way the sculpts look because they did look super cartoony and more like the main line instead of being that like collector level grade that Mattel says that they're going to do. So if they were to reissue all these figures, I would hope that they updated the sculpts and not just released the same old ones, because I don't really like the way that they did their old figures. They looked very cartoony, and I would want them to actually update the sculpts. Now the next section is old Hammond collection figures that need to be upscaled, like the Triceratops. That thing was way too small. It was so small, it was so tiny, it was such a bad figure. It's not a bad figure, but I would say the sizing is very bad for that Triceratops, because the Triceratops is supposed to be a little bit smaller than a T-Rex, and that thing was like a lot smaller than a T-Rex. Another dinosaur is the Baryonyx. They almost got the scale right, but I feel like it needs to be a little bit bigger than what they actually did. Another dinosaur is obviously the Ankylosaurus. Same thing, it needs to be in that large scale range that we have the Carnotaurus and Allosaurus and the Stegosaurus in now. It's just super tiny, and it needs to be a lot bigger. And there's also loads of other dinosaurs that probably need to get their sizes scaled differently, but let's move on to the next section. Now the next section is obviously going to be the price of these things. How would they price them? I would hope that if they did reissue like the smaller figures or those medium-sized figures, I would hope that they did the same price, but I don't know. They might be a little bit more expensive since they're reissues, 2.0's updated sculpts and stuff, so they might be a little bit more expensive. But then dinosaurs like the Triceratops and like the Ankylosaurus and stuff, when they're going to go up to a whole different scale, they're going to go up in price a lot, because those large figures normally run from like 35 to 40 bucks. So I would assume, so they would go up into that price too. Now the next and I think last section is how they're going to reveal these things and release them. What I think Mattel should do if they actually decide to reissue all of the old figures is not make them like run into or bump into the new releases. Like, hopefully, if they were to reissue these figures, that doesn't affect the release date of any of their newer figures. Like, just say the Spinosaurus was supposed to come out this year, but they decide to reissue the T-Rex, and they want to release it this year, and then the Spinosaurus gets pushed back next year. I would not want them to do that. I would just want them to reissue these figures and just release them like separately alongside. No Beyond the Gates reveals or anything. They should just release alongside the new releases, because they're just reissues. It's not like you're getting an entirely new dinosaur. Alright guys, and that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have not yet, make sure to please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell to turn on post notifications so you'll never miss another video. Let me know in the comments if you guys think Mattel should reissue all of the old Hammond collection figures and give them new sculpts, etc. This has been ErwinGoG14 signing out. Bye guys.